Om Namo Narayana. Today we finish part 3 of the Muktika Upanishad. This is the longest section, but we'll read it all in one video. Hanuman asked Lord Rama, "What is this Jivan Mukti, Videhi Mukti? What is the authority, means of success, and purpose?" Lord Rama replied, "For a person there is bondage from doership, enjoyership, pleasure, pain, etc. Their prevention is liberation from the body. Videhi Mukti is liberation without the body, and is from the destruction of operative karma, like the space in a pot released from the conditioning enclosing pot. For both the authority is the 108 Upanishads. The purpose is eternal happiness through the stopping of the misery of the doership, etc. This can be achieved by human effort. It has been written that human effort is said to be of two kinds, for and against the Shastras. The former gives disaster, the latter the ultimate reality. True knowledge does not come to one from latent impressions through the world, Shastras and the body. Such impressions are twofold, good and bad. If you are induced by the good, you shall reach me gradually but quickly. The bad ones involved lead to trouble and should be overcome with effort. The river of impression flowing through good and bad paths must be turned into the good path with human effort. When by means of practice good impressions arise, then the practice has been fruitful. Even when this is in doubt, practice only the good tendencies, and there shall be no fault. The destruction of impressions, cultivation of knowledge, and destruction of the mind, when practiced together for a long time, will yield fruit. If not practiced together, there will be no success, even after hundreds of years, like mantras which are scattered. When these three are practiced long, the knots of the heart surely are broken, like lotus fiber and the stalk. The false impression of worldly life is got in 100 lives, and cannot be destroyed without long practice. So avoid desire of enjoyment as a distance with effort, and practice the three. The wise know that the mind is bound by the impressions. It is liberated when released well from them. So, my friend Hanuman, practice the destruction of mental impression quickly. When impressions die out, the mind becomes put out like a lamp. Whoever gives up impressions and concentrates on me without strain, he becomes bliss. Whether he concentrates on actions or not, when he avoids all the desires of the heart, he is doubtless liberated. He has nothing to gain from action or inaction. If his mind is not freed from impressions, even samadhi and japa cannot give fruit. The highest place cannot be got without silence free from impressions. Sense organs like the ego go towards external objects without voluntary impression, but because of the latent impression, just as the eye falls voluntarily without attachment on external objects, so the man of wisdom operates in work. The sages know that vasana comprises all objects generated by creative faculty of the mind in attaining or avoiding them. The very unsteady mind, which is the cause of birth, old age, and death, is generated by desire for objects in excess. By the influence of vasana, there is the pulsation of prana. From it comes vasana, again like a seed and sprout. For the tree of the human mind, the pulsation and vasana are two seeds. When one dies, both dies. Latent impressions stop operating through detached behavior, avoidance of worldly thought, and realization that the body is mortal. The mind becomes non-mind by giving up vasanas. When the mind does not think, then arises mindlessness, giving great peace. So long as your mind has not fully evolved, being ignorant of the supreme reality, perform what has been laid down by the teacher, shastras, and other sources. Then within purity, ripened and destroyed, and truth understood, you should give up even the good impressions. In a Jivan Mukta, the destruction of the mind is with form. In a Jivan Mukta, it is formless. When you achieve it, the mind with qualities like friendliness will surely attain peace. The mind of the Jivan Mukta has no rebirth. The mind is the root of the tree of samsara, which has thousands of sprouts, branches, fruits, etc. I take the mind to be nothing but construction, make it dry in such a way that the tree also is dried up. There is only one means for overpowering mind. Shooting up of one's mind is one's undoing. Its destruction is good fortune. The mind of the knower is destroyed, It is a chain for the ignorant. As long as the mind is not defeated by means of firm practice, the impressions jump in the heart like ghosts at night. The impressions of enjoyment die, like lotus in winter, for one whose mental pride is reduced and the senses, the enemies, are defeated. One should at first conquer the mind, hands locked in hands, teeth set on teeth, and limbs subdued. The mind cannot be conquered without defectless reasoning, by merely sitting, just as an elephant in a rut without a goad. The reasons, well nourished in mind conquest, are knowledge of Vedanta, contact with good people, giving up impressions, and stopping of the pulsation of prana. Those who ignore these and control the mind by force throw away the lamp and search in darkness by means of soot, like trying to bind an elephant in a rut by a lotus fiber. The tree of the mind, bearing the weight of the creepers of thought, has two seeds, the pulsation of prana and strong impressions. All pervasive consciousness is shaken by the pulsation of prana. In contrast, by means of concentration, the knowledge arises. The dhyana, its means, is now imparted. Dissolving thought totally in the reverse order, think only of the remaining pure consciousness. After the apana sets and before prana rises in the heart, there exists the state of kumbhaka, experienced by yogins. Kumbhaka, in the external form, is the fullness of prana after in-breath disappears and out-breath arises. By repeatedly practiced meditation of Brahman without ego, samprajnata samadhi will be gotten. The asamprajnata samadhi, loved by yogins, is from the mind, giving great bliss. After all, the mental modifications, the thoughts, die away. It is valued by sages, being the spirit devoid of light, of the ego, of the mind, of the dream, and of the intellect in deep sleep. This concentration is other than what is not Brahman. Full above, below, and in the middle, the essence of goodness, this state prescribed by the Upanishads, is the ultimate reality. Latent impression is that unexamined grasping of objects by persistent imagination. What one brings into being through intense dispassion by oneself is realized quickly, devoid of opposite impressions. Influenced by impressions, a person looks upon those things as reality by the peculiarity of the impressions. The ignorant person sees the spirit wrongly, though it does not lose its own nature. The impure impression binds, the pure destroys birth. The impure one is solid ignorance and ego, which causes rebirth. The restful state is like a roasted seed, giving up the sprout of rebirth. Can the inner light be sought with chewing the cud of many shastras uselessly? One who remains alone, giving up perception as well as non-perception, is himself the Brahman. A person cannot know Brahman by merely learning the four Vedas and Shastras, as ladle cannot taste the food. If a person does not get detachment by the bad smell of his own body, what other cause of detachment can be taught? The body is very impure, the soul is pure. When one knows the difference, what purification need be prescribed? Bondage is by impressions. Moksha is their destruction. You give them up as well as the desire for moksha. Give up mental impressions of objects and cultivate pure impressions like a friendship. Then discarding even those while acting according to them, putting down all desires, have only the impression of consciousness. Give up these too along with mind and intellect. Concentrate only on me. Contemplate me as devoid of sound, touch, form, taste, and smell, eternal, indestructible, without name and family, destroying all suffering. The nature of vision like the sky, the one-syllable Om smearing through the omnipresent, unique, without bondage, forward, across, above, below. I fill every space. Unborn, ageless, shining by myself, not the cause or effect, ever contented when the body dies away, giving up the state of Jivan Mukta, one enters the Videha Mukti state. So, says the Rig Veda, the supreme place of Vishnu, the sages see ever, like an eye extended in heaven. The wise and awakened persons, free from emotions, keep it alight. And thus ends this Upanishad. Thank you for joining me on this walk through all 108 Upanishads. Jai Shri Krishna.